Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. Cory here. And I know it's been a hot minute since I've done some sort of favorites recap monthly video. I think the last one I did was for June. And today is October 7th. So, whoops. A lot did happen in July and August. And it went by incredibly fast. But there wasn't a whole lot to share. And even with September too, I don't have a lot of objects in front of me to share with you on what I've been doing with my practice, because a lot of the work that I've been doing has been inward. As of today, I am 16 weeks pregnant on my third surrogacy journey. So this is my 5th pregnancy, my last pregnancy. And each one takes a little bit more out of me, which is why this is my last one. So the last 16 weeks been a little rough, and not just because of what's going on in the world, particularly the United States, and even excuse me, more recently, what's been going on in the last 2 weeks in the United States, which I'll get into in a little bit. But September, I kind of felt like I really needed to sit in front of you guys and have a chat about what has been going on, where I've been. I know I've been posting videos, not necessarily a recap though, and share with you just what's happening in my general practice and with, you know, me and witchcraft. So we're gonna try and dive into that today and see where it goes. First thing I do want to share with you guys, like I said, I don't have a lot of objects to share. What I've been doing is just really diving into my groups that I support, groups that I lead in, and really taking a lot of support from there and giving as much support as I can as well. That's always my goal, is to give as much as I receive, especially in these circles. I mean, there's such amazing people in these groups. That's why I love sharing them with you. You guys know that I've talked about my coven, which again, I can't share too much about the inner workings with, but just to share with you guys, you know, that it is Ethany Dawn's Awakened Soul Coven. She is the high priestess of the group. So please go check her out if you are interested. This is an amazing witchhood group. And it's an amazing, amazing group of souls that I have really clicked with, that I really love spending time with. I have not been able to attend, I was not able to attend any of our ceremonies in September, which really, really bummed me out. But I am hoping to dive into our work here in October. Really excited about it. Another group that I am part of that I have shared with you guys in the past, Blossoms United, which is going through yet another amazing transformation. You guys, to see how far this group has come in 2 years, it's amazing. And I know this isn't the original vision of, you know, our fearless leader, Allie, and what she set out to do, but it has taken just breathtaking leaps and bounds. She now has categorized each sub-organization underneath Blossoms United, and I am part of the Emeralds organization. So it's, you know, you think of it as like a downline, as it were, and the folks in the entire organization are freaking amazing. But Emeralds in general, I love my Emerald buddies. I do. I love them so, so much. And the training that has been going on within the organization. If you're new to my channel, have never heard me talk about Blossoms United before, this is a doTERRA team organization. We are a gold team. And I know that MLMs throw off a lot of people. They throw me off, if I'm being completely open and honest with you. I had never really liked the MLM structure. I have participated in 2 MLMs in the past, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. And I really felt like those 2 MLMs in particular really took advantage of their associates to the max. And we're not going to name drop or anything here because that's not important. But it was really difficult to come out of that and appreciate when someone does an MLM the right way. Okay, let's put it that way. Where the company really appreciates and takes care of its associates, its representatives. And that's what doTERRA does. And this group in particular, Blossoms United, is so unique in that we are more of a collective group of spiritual and holistic healing entrepreneurs. We all love the same stuff. We love witchcraft. We love, even if you're not a witch, okay, you don't practice witchcraft, the other folks within the community are Reiki practitioners, are other forms of energy healers. They're aromatherapists. They're professional tarot and oracle card readers. We have certified crystal healers. You name it, we got it. Okay. As far as the metaphysical community goes, there are so many spectacular, we've got a lot of yoga teachers as well. We are a hub for alternative therapeutic modalities, and we all click because of that. So since we have this collective goal that's not necessarily centered around essential oils, although our common thread is that we do use essential oils in our practice, we all use them in different ways. But it's for support, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's the key component. I feel like most other doTERRA teams, not to like knock on anybody, because everybody has their own focus, like what's important to them. I feel like other teams are really focused on just mood support and mostly physical support, how you can take essential oils and replace your entire medicine cabinet at home, right? Replace all of your cleaning products. And that's awesome because there are a lot of benefits to using essential oils that way. I use essential oils that way mostly because as a witch, my focus is bringing myself and my family, as much as they're willing to come on this journey with me, into alignment and harmony with our natural environment. So when you have a lot of synthetics and plastics and chemicals in your home, that really breaks up your ability to cohabitate, to be in harmony with your natural environment, because what you're using isn't natural, right? So part of that, at least in my practice and my belief system, is that replacement, using more natural products. And doTERRA provides that beautifully. But as a witch as well, you know, oils and candles and herbs, crystals, these are natural components of spellcraft. Whether or not you use them all one or a few of those. It's a natural component. I've used oils for as long as I've been a witch. But before doTERRA, I used them sparingly, and I would pick up blends from a local metaphysical store. And I'll be honest, I was not doing a good job of checking to see what was in those oil blends. I was pretty bad at it. So using essential oils from a trusted source that tests the hell out of their batches, just to ensure not only quality, right? Because we want to make sure that it's 100% pure. You don't have those synthetics in there, which you buy essential oils from Walmart, you buy them off of Amazon. Chances are they're going to be synthetic, or they're going to not necessarily be labeled as what they are. A lot of times lavender is actually lavandin, which will have an opposite effect mood-wise as lavender, because it has camphor and some other, high content components to it. So it'll energize you rather than bringing you down and calming you. You don't want to be energized when you use lavender. You want it to work the way that you expect it to work, right? As labeled. So trusting that what I'm getting in my bottle is what's labeled there is really important to me. Second thing is also potency. Depending on where the plant grows, you're going to have a different impact, a different effect if you purchase lavender from Bulgaria, where it really thrives, to purchasing lavender grown in Arizona, right? Those are two completely different climates. It's like the saying, would you rather buy a pineapple grown in Hawaii or a pineapple grown in Alaska? Pretty sure, even though they're both pineapples, you're gonna have a different tasting fruit there when you get them home and cut them open. Same thing with your essential oils. The potency and the sourcing is super, super important. More important than I think a lot of people realize. And it's really changed the game for me in my practice, because when I use an essential oil blend that I get from a metaphysical store compared to an anointing blend that I make mixed with doTERRA oils, I see a really big difference. Much bigger than I would hope to see, So using them physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I only need to go after one bottle. I only need to use one brand. And that has made things really easy for me, which is fantastic. But it made sense to me to find the right group that I would gel with. And that's where Blossoms United came in. Finding this group was like finding a needle in a haystack. And I am convinced, because this was like 10 o'clock at night when I signed up. I didn't even speak to Allie before I signed up with her. I stumbled across her website. I spent 3 hours reading her blog posts. And I was like, I'm done. I'm sold. I'm in. Where do I sign? It was different than any other time that I had signed up to those 2 previous times that I had signed up for an MLM. Completely different experience. And I've had an amazing experience since signing up. I have not for 1 second regretted joining this team. With the other 2 MLM companies, I started feeling something very akin to buyer's remorse. Maybe 3 months in, max. Sitting at the meetings, reading up on the literature. It just, it did not sit right with me. And that's something else that Blossoms United has taught me. It's really important to say yes to things that you feel in alignment with. I know that's like really, really hard to stick with, especially for those of us who are service types who want to say yes to everything. I feel like our culture has shifted, especially with the whole, you know, say yes, take a risk, take a leap sort of mentality that started ramping up in the late 90s. And really, what everybody should be focused on is balance and alignment. There are certain things that you should say yes to, absolutely, and take that risk. And then there's a lot of things that you should probably say no to. And I would say that to anybody who's looking at doTERRA as well. If this is not an immediate, like, hell yes for you, don't sign up. You know, maybe this isn't what's right for you. And that's totally okay. But this was so right for me. And I couldn't be more prouder to be a part of this group and to be contributing to this group. And I'm so grateful for what they've been able to give me. Not just in terms of knowledge and training, which Blossoms United, through Allie and her amazing teaching, she's created a vibrational crystal healing course, a certified holistic tarot reading course, and a life code aromatherapy course. All three of those are certification courses, so when you complete them, you are certified in that modality. And they're free, you know, tuition free for those that sign up for Blossoms United. And I'll be able to give you guys more details on that if you shoot me a message, if you're interested in it. But that's part of what drew me in, the training. However, on the flip side of that, what I've really gained is a group of sisters and brothers. There's a couple of guys in here. But I've really gotten close to a lot of folks on this team. It's really more of a family, I have to say. This definitely feels like, I said, a sisterhood. There are women who are part of the Blossoms United organization who I talk to every single day. And they have been such a huge support for me, just personally. We don't even talk about oils sometimes. We just talk about shit that's going on in our lives. We talk about our kids. We talk about our relationships. We talk about work. And it's awesome. And it's just an amazing feeling. So the last 3 months in particular have really been a struggle for me. And Blossoms has been there. Allie has been there. Sharice Williams, if you guys watch her channel, she's part of Blossoms United. She's been there for me. It's an amazing group of souls. So if you're interested in it, I'm leaving some links below for you guys to check them out. Another group you guys hear me talk about all the time, because I love them so much, is the 3L Tribe. And it's led by the wonderful and amazing Devin Strickler. I love Devin and her family so very, very much. They run Love, Light, and Legacy, which is where 3L Tribe comes from, the name. And you guys, if you've been watching any videos, you know that I'm part of Team Legacy. So I'm one of the professionals that's a part of this group because I offer reading services, etc. So 3L Tribe members get discounts to my coaching and reading services. But again, being a part of the 3L Tribe is like being a part of a little family. And so, you know, between the Awakened Soul Coven, between Blossoms and 3L Tribe, I feel like I'm just surrounded by the most amazing freaking souls on the planet. And we all kind of started to like merge into each other. We've got a lot of crossovers. There are a lot of members of Blossoms United who are members of the 3L Tribe and vice versa, who like started in one organization and then joined the other, so they're in both, and then back and forth. And it's been amazing to see that like bleed through. And so in September, I was able to partner up with a couple other folks and hold space for those who on the East Coast were in the path of Hurricane Florence, and also to hold space and lead a ceremony for the monthly full moon pause in September, which was really fun to do. Oh, it made me remember how much I love leading ceremonies, especially full moon ceremonies. And this one was really simple. I didn't want to go overly elaborate. And not everybody in the 3L Tribe is of the pagan persuasion. So I didn't want to like, throw everybody into a full-blown like Wiccan full moon ceremony. That would have been kind of intense. So I just did a little guided meditation, little candle spell for everybody. And I think it went over really well. But it was fun to do. And leading things like that, being a part of those activities, just kind of brings me back down to center. So I love doing them. And so I've already rambled on forever just talking about these groups, but wanted to kind of share that with you guys because especially with what we're going through right now, I think finding a group of souls, whether it's in person, whether it's online, that you connect with, if you find that, hang on to that. Go all in. Don't hold back. Lean on that group and give in that group, because there might be folks in that group that could really use your love and support in exchange. And it's so grounding to give yourself over, your time, your energy to a group like that, that just feeds back into you. So if you can, if you can find a place in one of these three groups, I know we would all be honored to have you. If our groups aren't for you, I completely understand. There are a lot of other groups out there as well that I know would love to have you. And that I know would really fill you up. So if you can find one, just hang on to that group. I'm so lucky that I have so many. I haven't even spoken about my own group that I lead, Wilder Witches Circle, which is not necessarily a coven like the Awakened Soul Coven is. This is more of a general circle. We lend support. I provide teaching, a lot of teaching. So there's a lot of education going on in that group and a lot of sharing. And I want to open it up to be more of a community space. So I'm trying to play around with whether or not I reopen a Facebook page for everybody, a Facebook group, sorry, or if we try and do something new. Right now, we're primarily on Mighty Networks, and I love that for housing all of our education. But you don't know if that's really enough for what our community needs. So tinkering around a little bit, but like I said, there are dozens of groups out there. And I really encourage you, if you don't have one already, to find one. And if you have a group that you would love to share, please leave it in the comments below so that other folks that see this video can hear about your group and check them out if they're interested. Groups. Okay. Now let me talk a little bit about some of the things. Share with you favorites. I know this is already like getting into a really long video, but I'm going to start with Bridget's Grove. You guys know I'm obsessed with story goddesses. I have a custom story goddess. It was the first one that I ever bought, and her belt broke. And I was like really heartbroken. But, you know, being the witch that I am and being pretty practical, I figured, okay, so if the belt broke, maybe something in me has shifted to the point where that belt wasn't representative of me anymore. Because when I created the story goddess, she was a representation of the priestess who I am, you know, or was at the time. She's a copper goddess, and she had smoky quartz and citrine crystals and a sun and a moon and a spiral to represent, you know, my path and how I got here, and also my devotion to my matron and patron deities, Persephone and Freyr. Now, I've carried this lady around forever, so obviously wear and tear, the belt was probably inevitably going to break if we're just looking at it from a mundane practical source. Again, me being witchy though, I always have to add a layer of woo-woo, even though I hate using that term. A mystical layer, there we go, to what's happening, right? And so sitting there and thinking about it and being bummed, I was like, okay, well, I can do one of two things. I can either repair the belt, or I can sit there and take a look and see what has shifted in me that maybe the magic in that belt is spent. And it's not really representative of me anymore and how I practice and who I am as a priestess. And so in thinking about it, it feels more like a shift has occurred. So I'm going to save that belt. Obviously, I'm going to repair it and probably put it away in the box that I house all of my story goddesses when they're not in use, like my seasonal ones. And then I'm thinking I'm probably going to create my own belt for her. I have some chain. I have clasps. I have some charms. I'm going to really think about it and look at what I'm doing in my own personal practice now that's different, and really see if I can pinpoint how to express that for now. So that may take a while. If I do create a new one, or when I do create a new one, I'll be sure to pop on here and share with you guys what I did. But for now, what I've done, I ordered a few more ladies. So just to share with you, I got their sort of autumn seasonal box. I shared with you guys a deepening kit that I purchased last winter. And so I purchased their sort of Mabon Samhain seasonal ritual kit for fall. And I got this gorgeous magic girl. And just like with their other kits, there are a couple different goddesses that you could choose from. But I love this one. So it's a little golden tiger's eye and a little kitty charm sitting on a moon. And this really felt like kind of practical magic-esque for me. And I love that movie. So really liked it. Ah, this camera is not picking up these like flecks. or doing this lady any justice, but she is gorgeous. And so she's been sitting over here on my reading table. And then I had to get representatives of my 2 other special ladies. You know that these are not matron goddesses for me, but they are goddesses that I've worked with for years, including the first one that I ever connected with, and that's the Morgan. And so if you've been following me on Instagram, I've been talking about her a lot recently, and that's for good reason. I tend to work with her just about every October, and this month, it's come up very strong in the ways that I've been working with her, and I really just felt called to share it for the first time, like really, really share it. And then I had to get Bridget, the lovely goddess that I was almost named after, and then ended up getting named Cory, which some of you may or may not know is actually Persephone's original name before she married Hades. K-O-R-E, Cory, but still Cory nonetheless. So had to get these 2 ladies to round out my trio. So very excited to finally have them. And then just because it is October, I had to get a seated crone finally. And of course, black with silver glitter. Like, I couldn't get any other crone. Really, really excited to have this lovely lady. And so she is sitting on the little just sacred space I have in front of my monitor here. I did get a story god, but I don't want to share them with you in case my nephew is watching, because it's a gift for him for Christmas. So we'll talk about that later. Now, I have been, like I said, using doTERRA for a lot of physical support. So can I just say that I hate prenatal vitamins? They suck. And I have not had really good luck with them. In fact, I've had pretty shitty luck keeping them down, and also finding one that didn't just not make me feel well. So I have just been going with my doTERRA vitamins, and they've been working great. Like, I have more energy using them. It's amazing. So here they are. And I've been using this, you know, splitting up the doses because it's kind of a lot. And so I'll take them in the morning with breakfast and then at night with dinner. So you'll see Sunday is gone. But there's 1 extra pill in the AM because that little yellow guy right there, that gel capsule, is actually On Guard. So I do take a shot of that in the morning just to fortify my immune system. And then the rest of these you can see are we've got the omegas in the like burgundy gel caps. And then your daily multivitamin is the big old powdery horse pill ones right there. And then you'll see another kind of smaller like gray capsule right there. And that's a digestive one, which I take 3 times a day, basically with every meal. And that one is, like I said, just to aid and support digestion. That one in particular is to help break down processed food. So being on the go a lot, and the fact that most of our food is processed, just kind of the way it is right now, which really, really sucks. I try and get in as much organic stuff as I can, but it's really difficult, really difficult. So I'm taking one of those guys to really help aid in digestion with the processed food. And it's been working out really well. So I'm going to stick with those and see how it works. When I have been casting, we went to IKEA several weeks ago, and I just like bought a shitload of just plain black. These are 15-hour candles. Yeah, so they're 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch, just plain white. And I've been using them nonstop for everything. And so this is one of the packages that I've broken into, but I bought like 4 packages. I've already gone through one and broken into a second. And honestly, I don't think I can have just enough basic white candles. They're great for everything. Book-wise, the only book that I really read in September is this guy, Magical Aromatherapy. And I'm going through it again because it's just so good. I love this book. I love Scott. And honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with any of his books. So highly recommend, especially if any of you guys are going to get into oils, into herbs, you need this book. And then I got the Illustrated Herbiary. Oh, you guys. I have been loving this book. So this has 36 herbs in it. And it goes into kind of the message behind that herb, but also ways to work with it. So we've got a ritual and a reflection for each herb, which is pretty amazing because really this isn't just a, you know, it comes with a 36 card oracle deck for each of the herbs. So it's not just an oracle deck. This is a how to connect with and work with the herb on a spiritual, magical level, which is awesome. It marries my 2 favorite subjects, cards, cartomancy, and magic. Like, I love it. And I've had a really great time working with it. And so if you've had a reading for me in September, you probably saw that I slipped one of these cards into your reading because they're just great. Now, I did get some more decks in September. I got a ton in August and July too. And I'm sorry I didn't share them with you guys. One of them is our tarot. I got a few more. I just haven't had time to come on here and film unboxings, but did want to share some of those with you. You guys saw me unbox the Druid Plant Oracle. Love this guy. Oh, so much. Had a lot of fun unboxing him. One that I didn't unbox though was the Moonchild Tarot. This is a gorgeous deck. It's absolutely stunning. Part of the reason why I haven't been working with it though is because this is really like a spring deck. So the timing of it was a little bit of a bummer. I feel like this is really going to be awesome to work with in the spring. Huge booklet came with this guy, and just the cards are gorgeous. Real life, you know, models, inspiration. You've probably seen some of these folks on Instagram as well. Just amazing use of color. I love her color palette with her decks. And this one has like a very Art Nouveau flavor. Look at that Emperor. I love it. And you'll recognize some of these folks from also the Star Child Tarot. So I do have, I love that Empress too. I do have the Star Child Tarot. I have the Akashic edition, and then, which is the 2nd edition. And then the 3rd edition, which was the tarot sized one, which I use the most because these are kind of like humongous cards. But I love them both. Not getting rid of either. And these cards work really well, or at least using the Star Child Tarot pairs really well with the Inner Star Oracle from the Darling Tree. So amazing. Just yummy pastel color palettes, but definitely not like, you know, a Halloween-esque deck. Not to knock that, but it's just not the flavor that I'm going with at the moment, especially in working with the Morgan. This is not a Morgan deck, okay? It's a gorgeous deck, but this is more of like, who would pair beautifully with this deck? Ain probably would. Probably Etain as well, the fairy princess. Yeah, she would totally vibe with this deck. Isis, absolutely, but not necessarily Hecate or the Morgan, which is kind of the energy, the crone energy that I have right now, or that I'm working with right now. Definitely a maiden deck for sure. You are the dance of light and shadow. I love that. There is a little bit more shadow to this deck, and there seems to be with the Star Child Tarot, which I really appreciate. This one's a little bit more balanced. And there are some really like yummy darker imagery, but the color palette overall and the messaging feels very maiden energy to me. So we'll be holding on to this one for a little bit, playing with her, but not necessarily diving in with both feet quite yet. This guy, however, so somebody was getting rid of their Mary L. Tarot, and I got it. So excited. I had only seen amazing things about this deck. Now the box is a little beat up, and so is the edges of the book, which, you know, no biggie for me. I kind of like the lived in decks, you know, where somebody has used them, played with them. In this deck, in the imagery, I apologize, just FYI, there's a lot of nudity in this deck. Just want to give you a heads up. But you can see the Oberos here and an infinity symbol. Love that. So nude alert, just FYI. But this artwork is freaking stunning. And I love it. I don't even really mind the giant black borders. I feel like it kind of goes with the vibe of the deck. Now, some of the imagery, I'm like, really kind of don't know how that fits in with the card for some of the cards, but I'm eager to like figure that out. Now, this particular person edged the deck. So the person that I bought it from, so it doesn't come with black edging, just FYI. This is clearly a marker. Somebody edged it, and again, I actually think it adds to the deck. I don't think it detracts from it in any way. But in case you buy a brand new one, you're like, what the fuck? It's somebody edged these. So just this hermit. Oh. So it's weird. There's some cards in the deck that I'm like, I'm going to need to dive into the book to find out where that imagery is coming from for this this card. And then there are other cards like this one where I'm like, oh, that speaks to my soul. I know, being overly dramatic here, but I just, oh, like this Wheel of Fortune. There's just so many things about this deck that as a whole draw me in. So really excited to use it. And we've got pentacles for discs, or discs for pentacles, I should say. And like this one, I'm like, huh? Because when I think Nine of Pentacles, that's like my Beyonce card. That's not Beyonce. But again, this is a much, much darker deck. So very interested to really dive into the imagery here for the suits especially, and get a feel for what's going on with that artwork. Like even for the pictures that I'm like, huh, just the artwork is freaking beautiful, you guys. It's just beautiful. Ugh. And I am a sucker for art. Like, you got good artwork in your deck, like I'm in love. So very eager to work with this guy this month and over time. And that's really it. That's what I wanted to pop on here and share with you guys with. I know I've been talking for like an hour about nothing, but I hope that you were able to take something fun away from this video, if anything, about the groups. All the links to all the groups that I talked about will be below, just so that you can get an idea of what all the hype is about that I keep chatting with you guys about these groups for. And again, if you have any groups that you would like to share, please share them. Sharing is the best way that we can get this information out there, and for folks that need to find a place, a circle that they jive with, they can get into the group that really fits their bill. As for the rest of these, I'm going to work more with these goodies, and hopefully I have a lot more physical stuff to share with you guys in October. Books that I've read, decks that I've used, crystals that I've used, things that I've done, share with you guys more about what I've been cooking up with the Morgan, and just have more stuff to share with you other than join a group. Although I really do feel like that was a message that I needed to get across, especially coming out of September. That's what really supported me in my practice. And if you're looking for that support, I really encourage you to reach out and go grab that, because it made all the difference for me in September. All right, lovelies. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hopefully will see you in the next video. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will catch you later. Blessed be.